Tonight, a resolution to resume fluoridation of the village of DeForest public water system went before the village board and tied in a 3-3 vote, meaning the motion failed to pass. Community members on both sides of the issue spoke during public comment. Now, previously in February of last year, the board had voted to discontinue fluoride in the village drinking water for the first time in decades. Tonight, people against the issue pointed to the time and money it would take to re-implement fluoride, as it has already been voted on, while people for it focused on potential oral health benefits.
Community water fluoridation is one of the most effective preventative measures available. It is safe, evidence-based, and designed to benefit everyone in a community.
People should have the right to decide what goes into their bodies. Fluoride is a perfect example.
Public Health Madison in Dane County has said it supports municipalities throughout Dane County to maintain fluoride in their water, but they can't enforce it.